Alright, let's be clear from the start. This video isn't about promoting toxic behavior or encouraging anyone to break someone down. It's about understanding how ego works, not just for women, but for people in general. If you think about it, the ego is like armor. Some people wear it proudly, and others hide it behind confidence. And women? Well, they're no exception. Anyway, that ego isn't as invincible as it seems. In fact, you could shatter it with the simplest actions. What is ego? Before we talk about how to destroy a woman's ego, you have to understand what ego actually is. And no, we're not talking about the generic definition. Because guess what? Ego is not confidence. People get that wrong all the time. Ego is that little voice inside your head that says, I deserve this, or I'm better than that. It's that part of you that craves validation and control. For women, ego often ties into appearance, intelligence, relationships, and, most importantly, self-worth. If you've ever seen someone get defensive when they're criticized, that's ego kicking in. When someone acts like they're too good for something, yep, that's ego too. It's fragile, even if it doesn't seem that way. Now, most people think the only way to hurt someone's ego is by insulting them directly. But that's too obvious. It's like trying to break a wall with a hammer. Sure, it works, but it's messy and loud. Instead, what if you could slip through the cracks and make it collapse from the inside? Lack of interest. Here's the first and maybe the most effective way to dismantle a woman's ego. Indifference. What's worse, someone criticizing you or someone not caring about you at all? Exactly. Being ignored. Why? Because people thrive on attention. Compliments, arguments, even hate. It all feeds the ego. But when you remove all that energy and act like you don't care, it's game over. She starts to question herself. Did I do something wrong? Why aren't they reacting? Am I not good enough to get a response? See how fast that doubt creeps in? Let me give you an example. Imagine someone posts a selfie expecting likes and comments. Everyone else is hyping them up. Gorgeous. Stunning. Queen. But then there's you. Silent. No comment. No like. Nothing. You think that person is scrolling right past that? Not a chance. They'll check, double check, and triple check to see if you noticed. And when they see you didn't, it sticks. The same thing happens in real-life interactions. Let's say she says something to impress you like, I just got a promotion at work, expecting a reaction. Instead of clapping it up, you just nod and say, that's cool. And that right there is enough to send the ego spiraling. The art of rejection. Rejection is a big one, but people think of it all wrong. I will never advise being rude or dismissive. What I want you to understand, though, is the art of subtle rejection, because this is where all the magic happens. For example, imagine she suggests a movie night, and instead of going along with it like usual, you casually say, nah, I'm good, I've got something else planned. No anger, no attitude, just calm, casual rejection. It's such a small move, but it's powerful. Why? Because it sends the message that your world doesn't revolve around her. And that's a big blow to the ego. People are used to being catered to, especially if they're used to getting their way. But when you show that you've got your own plans, your own life, and that you're not afraid to prioritize it, she'll notice. Nothing dents the ego more than being reminded that you're not in charge. The comparison trap. Nobody likes to admit it, but being compared to someone else is one of the fastest ways to bruise an ego. You don't even have to say, so-and-so is better than you. Nope, that's too obvious. Instead, if she mentions her cooking skills, you could say, oh yeah, my friend Sarah made that once. It was pretty good. Notice what happened. You didn't say her cooking was bad, but by bringing up someone else in the same context, her mind does the work for you. Comparisons work because they activate self-doubt. The ego wants to be the best at something, and when that title is in question, it crumbles. At this point, some of you might be thinking, okay, but why does this matter? Simple. Understanding how ego works helps you navigate relationships better. Whether it's friendships, romantic relationships, or even work interactions, ego is always at play. You'll notice things you never saw before. And while most of us may not give it much thought, instead of using this information to destroy others, maybe you should use it to protect your own ego. Now that you know how fragile ego really is, you also know how easily yours can be affected. The same tactics that can break someone else's ego could just as easily be used against you. If you found this video insightful, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss out on content like this. We're always breaking down the things most people overlook, and trust me, you'll want to be here for it.